why housing prices are so high. The second reason that housing is so high is because we let in 25 million illegal aliens to compete against Americans for scarce homes. And here's the thing, when you take the same number of houses and you bring 25 million people who shouldn't even be here and you force Americans to compete against those 25 million, then that's going to drive up the cost of housing for everybody. We got to get those illegal aliens out of here and secure our border, and that's the best thing that we can do to bring back housing affordability. This in multiple communities across the country. And there's this game that Kamala Harris and the Democrats play. The first thing that they do is they will flood a small town or a big city with thousands of migrants who shouldn't be there in the first place. And the second thing they'll do is they'll say, you are a racist if you dare complain about it. And I think it's the most disgraceful thing that Kamala Harris has done this cycle is not just flood this country with cheap labor and people who are competing with you for homes, but they didn't tell you that you're a bad person for daring to speak up and to have a voice about what's going on in your own country. We reject that politics. We reject that censorship. In the town of Springfield, Ohio, which I'm honored to represent, we've heard from a number of residents that there are certain parts of town where they won't even drive because the illegal immigrants who have come in have made it unsafe to be on the roads. And you see the evidence of it, by the way, in skyrocketing car insurance rates. Whose car insurance rates have gone up? You think that has something to do with the fact that there are 25 million drivers on the road who shouldn't be here? And if they didn't follow our laws to get here in the first place, do you think they're following stop signs? Absolutely not.
Question for you is, if you become the vice president under a Trump administration, what will you guys do about the migrants that are already there, since they did arrive legally? And a follow-up to that, if you plan to deport them, how would you do that legally?
Well, look, this is a media and Kamala Harris fact check that I want to clarify and clear up right now. And here's now, the media loves to say that the Haitian migrants, hundreds of thousands of them, by the way, 20,000 in Springfield, but hundreds of thousands of them all across our country, they are here legally. And what they mean is that Kamala Harris used two separate programs, mass parole and temporary protective status. She used two programs to wave a wand and to say, we're not going to deport those people here. Well, if Kamala Harris waves the wand illegally and says these people are now here legally, I'm still going to call them an illegal alien. An illegal action from Kamala Harris does not make an alien legal. That is not how this works. She's going to say, on the one hand, we're going to let in millions of illegal aliens to make your housing costs higher, to make your hospitals overwhelmed, to make your local schools impossible for your children to learn in. She's going to do that, and on the other hand, if you dare complain about it, you are a racist. Kamala Harris, I think that's disgraceful. You ought to have respect enough for your own people to enforce their border laws and listen to them. Listen to them when they complain about it. Don't pretend they're bad people. And look, I think I speak for every person in here, and I think I speak for a lot of people, a lot of undecided voters, but certainly a lot of Republicans, independents, and Democrats who are voting for Donald Trump. We are allowed, under the First Amendment to this country, to tell our leaders that they're doing a bad job. We are allowed, Kamala Harris, to tell you you got to stop importing millions of low-wage foreigners into our country. We are allowed, Kamala Harris, to tell you you can't jack up the cost of housing by giving foreigners homes instead of American citizens. We're not bad people for loving this country. You're a bad person for doing this to the